This one's going to be a little bit, oh, did you press record already? Hey guys. Mira Shore, in her book, Wet, provides an honest, clear, and pertinent insights to the life and struggle of the artist that any practicing artist will appreciate, and how the formal education can help the artist in a lifetime of practice. She presents her ideals for what an art school should provide and do for the student. Shore asks that the art school encourage a lifetime of artist practice, where studio time, its anonymity and intimacy with self are promoted as the best assets an artist has to create meaningful work. Money and fashion should be secondary, though she does acknowledge that the artist's life is difficult for the majority of artists, whether it's a choice of a mundane job or a dominating career that will drain the artist of energy and studio time. According to Shore, suffering should be discussed as a critical and inherent part of the artist's life, as this dissatisfaction will drive the creation of more work. Authority is engendered within the academic art institutions and critiques. Shore suggests it is best to aim to have critiques where one is not attacked as a learning mechanism. The healthiest means to foster learning about and developing one's work is in an environment where there's a gentle sense of humor and a collective goal to raise consciousness about the artwork. Ultimately, then, the artist learns to be self-critical in a good way. She notes the discrepancy between what you as the artist wanted to do in your studio and the actual work produced. The system she suggests offers a productive way to work through these studio issues. Shore says it's best to find the core of what you believe and work towards that, while continually doubting that belief. Consideration of these issues and a constructive educational process will enable the artist to best create artwork that Shore considers art's purpose, which is to deal with thought and matter of life and death. I'm like, I wish I had my remote control. No, because I'm like thinking, I'm like, oh, maybe I'll keep going. Anyway, can you still, I like want just shots of this. Oh yeah, Lippard makes suggestions to improve art education in the area of public art. Power is an issue in all public art. Public art alters the landscape. The artist has to work with the public and give way to their ideas at the expense of his or her own ideas. For Lippard, the artist's role is simultaneously interdisciplinary, incorporating experiencer, reporter, analyst, and activist. Many artists will be actively involved in public art periodically throughout their careers. Academic art institutions need to incorporate public art education into the academic community. Despite this distinct lack of training and programming to facilitate artists working in this area, it is often a life-changing experience for the artist and even energizes their own work. If public art is involved with place, it is successful. For Lippard, the role of the artist is to engage the people with the land and where we came from and where we are and where we are going. Baudrillard considers the role of art in understanding his concern with seduction, based on the reading of Walter Benjamin's Role of Art in the Age of Technology, Art only has meaning through nostalgia, and because of its reproducibility, it has lost its original aura. Art only has meaning through nostalgia, and because of its reproducibility, it has lost its meaning, its original aura. Instead, it becomes political, which in Baudrillard's explanation tends to connote a watered-down form of art that holds minimum intensity in contemporary society. Seduction is compared to the same genealogy of art. Baudrillard, however, in search for a meaningful future of seduction, hopes that it will once again become a mythical seduction. One can only hope that art too follows in the steps of seduction's genealogy. If, as Baudrillard claims, that seduction is destiny, then it may be argued, so must art be destiny. Lippard and Shore considered an artist's relationship to history. For Shore, it is important to learn about the history of both women and men working in the artist's area of interest so as not to restart from the beginning, and rather instead to be able to grow from what has been done and develop as the next generation. As most will already be quite informed of male artists, a good starting place to research important artists is the Guerrilla Girls poster from 1989 that lists nearly 70 important women and artists of color who every artist should know. In addition to the artist canon, artists, most of whom may identify with Miss Lippard as an emotional nomad, must become familiar with one's personal history of place, one's family's history of place, and the history of the place where one resides. This is particularly important because place forms who you are just as you influence the place. On political, environmental, and any issues that affect the community, as an artist, it is important not to speak for other people, but to work closely with the community to make artwork that will help improve the situation. This approach to history and place will enable the artist to fulfill what Lippard deems to be the artist's role, which is that of healer. Shore instructs the artist to pursue what she or he believes in her heart or his heart, and to doubt that this is the right thing to be doing at the same time. Baudrillard would agree. It comes back to the latent, existing in small amounts below the manifest as it operates seduction. And given that art is attributed to the character and experience of seduction, then it possesses reversibility and the opposite of what is. As such, the best of high or low art will possess the type of aura, uniqueness, and that which we cannot explain and is only art, that which is made by the hand and eye and with aesthetic, taking into account history, both male and female, and that of place, and will ultimately have latent traces of mass production, desire, sex, pornography, and object, thereby enabling art to seduce, attract, and communicate its meaning, to heal and be a part of life and death and things that matter.